Well, hello everybody. Hey, I am going to do a little hangout today on Blender, specifically Blender 2.77. I think it's 2.77a is the latest version. Doesn't really matter what version you use; they're all pretty similar. At least 2.56 or higher, I think it is, because I'm going to be using Cycle Render. This is a program that I basically started learning a few months ago. I'm not proficient at it. I'm not an expert on it. I am a pure amateur, and I'm just dicking around with it, learning some of the things that you can do. So I figured as I play around with it and learn some of the things that you can actually do in Blender, then people can actually go download it and play along with us and get the basics of 3D modeling. Some people like to do 2D modeling. I haven't figured out the animations for 2D. It seems a lot more complicated than 3D, actually. But since I have showed people some of the videos that I've been working on with the 3D animations, they've been asking how to actually do it for themselves. So I figure if I do a little basic tutorial on Blender, then maybe they can figure out on their own how to kind of get it to work for whatever they want it. Anyways, I got dragged down in here. I've invited a few other people. So far, nobody's wanted to come in. Yeah, they might find it interesting. They may not. Whatever. It's a hangout, right? So if you do want the link, let me know. Message me directly, either through Google Plus, through the Facebook, through Twitter, through whatever. Okay, so we got to get. This is my live feed. See, nobody. I got 7 people watching, but nobody's in the live feed. Oh, that's my email. You don't want to see my email.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, hang on. I got some background noise here. Let me get the background noise down for a second. One sec.
In the meantime, I have the same screen up, and I have no fucking clue what any of this shit is. I see shading, performance, metadata, output. Where's Side 10 Atheist when you need him?
This is the thing I wish I could learn.
Okay.
Fried my brain, but I'll punish myself anyways.
Okay, Opal, you got a computer, Opal, my friend?
Yep, I got a full-blown computer.
All right. Are you gonna go download the program?
I'm probably just gonna watch.
Oh, come on! That's like a join thing. You gotta. Okay, you can watch. All right. So, anyways, when you go download if you haven't got it yet, version 2.77 of Blender. I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes to download it if you haven't yet. And then when you actually, I'm gonna show you what the stuff is. So hang on. So when you go to Blender, it'll actually launch like this, and your little splash screen. If you get an error message, skip it, and either A is going to go into this or it's going to crash. It depends on your graphics, if you have what kind of GPU you have, and if you have what's called OpenGL, I think that it's going to use. So if it does crash, the solution I found is to get version 2.76, but hopefully you'll have a better computer than mine, and you'll be able to run at least 2.6, 2.7, which I have on this other computer, because I couldn't run it on my laptop. It actually crashed, and then finally got it to actually work once, and then when I tried to render something, the damn thing nearly melted my computer, and I'm not even exaggerating. It got to like 100+ degrees Celsius. That's hot for a temperature for core. What should your CPU be at, Opal? Like what, about 60 degrees, maybe 70 to 80 when you're...
Actually, I have this old heat sink that has a built-in TEC. So okay, it's usually about 5 degrees above what it is. So I'm sitting at right now about 48 degrees.
Oh wow, that's very low.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's really good.
I will not let go. I will not let go of the CPU cooler. I have to replace the TEC in it. I notice its performance dropping, so I'm just gonna have to.
Mine was right at its thermal limit. I'm surprised the transistors didn't fry. You could actually get that burning sensation smell going, and I'm like, okay, no. Yeah, I thought I may have done some permanent damage, because I'm like, no, this is not good. It did not like being rendered on this little. It's a little Latitude that I'm using right now. It's a Core 2, really old, really antiquated, but hey, it's better than what I've been using to get online. You guys saw my old computer, then that thing. When I say I was using a piece of shit, I really mean I was using a piece of shit.
And I got slightly, I wish I could help you. I got slightly overclocked, just slightly. And the ambient temperature in my room right about now is just below 26 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, I mean,
So if that gives you any reference, so
yeah,
yeah. So as I said, I got a darn good cooler, and I've had for about, I want to say 8 years, but a little longer. I think it might be 9 or 10, but
I think it was Hannah was telling me she had like I don't know, like I'm gonna pull this number out of my ass, but something like 12 freaking fans or something in her computer system. I'm like, damn.
Mm.
Jonathan Hatcher says, "I'm sad you're not going to shit on the CCP. That's why I came here. I can't just shit on the CCP all the time, and people bitch at me for that too. So it's just like some people are like, oh, we're going to do something other than just point out Ronnie's inadequacies and his stupidity. Okay, well, I'm doing something else other than picking on the slow kids. So this is something that's going to be entertaining.
no, I'm going to enjoy that. I'm actually probably going to. I'm downloading the app anyways, even though I know it's going to fry my brain. I so wanted to get into 3D modeling.
I'm working on another video right now. The problem is the video that I'm working on is very intensive. I've done the script for it. I have yet to narrate it because I left my good mic, or well, you count a $6 mic good, over at my mom's, like with everything else that I own, in her garage. So I don't want to narrate using the mic in my laptop right now like I'm using because it just wouldn't sound good. So I don't know how I'm going to work around that because I got shitty audio equipment. Hopefully, if I ever get some income, there's like $70 mic system that I found on Amazon. It looks badass. It's got the boom. It's got the pop noise filter, and it's got a little power amp with an XLR to 3.5 millimeter converter. Yeah, it looks really. It's got you get this little cable that you put it in your computer, and it comes out to like 2 other things, and then you put like an XLR on this thing. It looks amazing. Like that would be awesome for audio recording. I might just put it on my Amazon wish list and throw that up there. I don't know. Who knows? I'm trying to find some like, rich 80-year-old female to like be my sugar mama.
Yeah, I think we'd all like that.
Or, at this point, because I'm so broke, it's like I'm gonna take like a 80-year-old sugar daddy. But whatever. I'll cuddle.
I was going to recommend, I've gotten a few products from here, and now they're middle-of-the-line class, a lot of those I have, which for a lot of things it doesn't run, and I haven't gotten any of their microphones. I'm just trying them down here. But there's a shop and this website that's a Chinese shop, and it's GearBest. I've gotten a few products from there, and
cool.
Pretty good. I haven't gotten a bad one, but their prices are unbelievable.
All right, I'm going to give it about 1 more minute, actually 2 minutes, because I'm going to make another cup of coffee real quick. You guys can talk amongst yourselves while people are downloading the 2.77, and I will be right back. So discuss things.
I got it downloaded. I'm installing it now.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at.
Well, when I tried to learn, I'm trying to remember what program, like 2 programs I tried to learn on. Milkshape was one of them, and I really liked that one. I got the farthest in I think it was Milkshape. Let me make sure, because I always get the name. It's something my brain does, but I always take, sometimes I can read milk. Yeah.
All right, I got it in the microwave. Let's see. We only got 5 viewers yet, so I'm going to hold off just a little bit till we get into this. Maybe we get some more people watching to see if they want to learn how to use Blender. I can tell you about my job interview yesterday. I was telling some people, I was telling Drag earlier that I had a really decent job interview yesterday. It took all day long, and the final interviewer was the store manager for the new store, and she actually knew me. I was really like, wow. She and I went to the same training 9 years ago in Phoenix, and she had the same job I did. We were in the same district together. She'd been to my store numerous times, and she knew everything on my resume was legit. And she was just like, "Why are you looking for a part-time job, Steve?" And I'm like, "Well, because every time I go for a full-time job, I never hear back from." And she's like, "Well, she's like, I got a few positions left open and feel full time, so yeah, I definitely need somebody. So she was really chatting me up, and I thought the interview went exceptionally well. But I don't want to get my hopes up again because last time I did that, I didn't hear back from anybody. So, and the new store's not open until October. So, and I put this resume in like 2 months ago. So,
Yeah. Well, life is like hunting for an apartment. You can't just sit and wait for one.
Yeah, and that's the problem I was running into. I was supposed to. I thought I got a good job offer before, and that didn't pan out. And I was waiting for that because it sounded like like a shoo-in. And I called back, and they're like, yeah, we're just waiting for the district to contact you. I call back again. Yeah, the district's supposed to contact you. They never freaking contacted me. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, this. Let me tell you, if you're a hiring manager, one of the worst thing you can do is not get back to people, because people, rely on some of this stuff, and they base their lives contingently. When people say that, yeah, it's in the process. We're pushing your paperwork through. People kind of do rely on that a little bit, and then for whatever reason, if you fall through the cracks, which does happen, explain what the situation was. Because, I mean, there might have been some misinformation, there might have been they hired somebody else, but, I mean, be communicative with the people that you're interviewing. And I've done hundreds of interviews that have hired people. And, I try to get back to them, right? I mean, make sure that I'm always in constant communication with them. Anyways, my coffee is almost ready, and then we're going to get started in about 1 minute.
1 minute.
Mine's installing. Link there, that's the 3D program I had learned on. I got pretty far in it, and then all of a sudden my brain just crashed. It was just too much for me. I got partway through designing a simple ship, but I don't know if it's changed much from when I last used it. Looks like they have some. I'm looking through the screenshots. Looks like they have, yeah, it's changed a little bit.
Okay, I've got my Java. Okay. Let's see if anybody wants in real quick. I'm going to check because I won't be paying attention to my live feed too much. Nope, nobody wants in. All right, John has already left us. Damn it, John. Okay. Anyway, so this is going to be your Blender 2.7, your splash screen. The way this basically works, and again, let me reiterate, I am learning this myself, so this is a purely novice layman. I've worked on this for maybe 4 months so far. So Dave, I think Vale, and a few other people probably are vastly more knowledgeable about Blender. But anyways, this is going to be the basics. So this is your view screen, okay? This is a three-dimensional perspective view. And before you do anything, if you've had this downloaded, if you do not have a 3-button mouse, you're going to have to emulate one. And the way you go about emulating them is you go to File up here, and you're going to go to User Preferences, okay? And there'll be a little button here that says Emulate 3-button mouse, okay? You're going to check that box. And you're also going to check the Emulate number pad too, especially if you're on a laptop. It just makes it easier. Without that emulation of 3-button mouse, you can't pan and stuff like that. For example, if I want to pan around like this, you won't be able to do that very easily if you don't. Okay. So this right here is your axes, okay? And it gives you the legend for it down here. So the green one is going to be your y-axis. The Z is your Z or Z. I'm going to call it Z, even though I'm American, and most Americans don't really call it Z, but whatever. And then the red is the x-axis. So you've got different views you can look at this. I have it in what's called user perspective mode right now, which is if you hit 5, it changes from orthographic to perspective. It's just a little different way of showing it. I'm going to leave it in perspective. This is your camera, okay, and this is your initial block, the molding, whatever you want to do with it. And the way you pan is going to be really simple. If you hold down Alt and your left mouse button, you can rotate it and kind of move it around. Okay, so Alt and your left button. This is how you change, your viewing angle.
I just lost my cube. I hit 5 by accident.
You lost your cube? Don't lose your cube. Actually, you know what? I usually delete the cube because I usually go to something else first. All right.
Okay. I have no cube.
Go Alt. Okay. Start from over again. If you want to start from the beginning, all you do is go File, New, and I'll say Reload Startup File. Right here.
Yep.
And you reload your startup file. So you should be in this perspective here.
I got it.
Now when you hit Alt and your left mouse button, just kind of move the mouse around. Can you do that?
Yeah, I actually got a 5 mouse.
Okay. Now if you just want to pan, if you hit Shift and Alt, now you can just move it this way. See, I can move it up, I can move it down, right and left, right? So this is panning, and then the Alt just kind of rotates and moves it around without actually panning the view. Okay?
Yeah, he said I had to hit something in the file in order to do the pan.
Oh, you have to, yeah, go to File, go to User Preferences, and there'll be a little check box here that says Emulate 3-button mouse.
Yeah, hold it.
Just shift the mouse button.
And by the way, if you have never worked with a 3D program before, this program has a high learning curve. I'm not an idiot, and it still took me about 2 hours to learn this much when I first played with it. It's really, I couldn't figure out how to move the shit around. And I didn't want to read a tutorial because I wanted to figure the shit out on my own.
Yeah. It's not actually not the program itself that always fries. Keeping track of everything I'm doing and mentally visualizing the stuff when I start getting right. Because look at that, like that program I put up aside. That's the first one well, there was another one. I think it was Maya. I was playing around with, and I was going the two, but on the milk-shaped 3D, I'm pretty far, and the program was very easy to. It looks different. I'm looking at the site, and it's different from what I remember. Yeah, no, it's just when you start adding in all the shade and you start trying to position everything.
Yeah, the note anything in the shading, that's the hardest part. I don't think I could touch on that right now. Iron Nation, what the hell? He says in the live feed, "Holy shit! The thumbnail made me think of Steve McRae was on Millennial Woes." What the hell's Millennial Woes? Iron Nation. Anyways, moving on. So, do you guys have a wheel on your mouse?
Yes.
All right. That's what this does. So scroll in.
I actually have this mouse called the FPS Gun mouse. It's a vertical mouse. And it's got 5 buttons and plus a little button to change resolutions on the.
Yeah, you might have to figure out which one it is. Okay, but like this is going to be like here. This is a top-down view. Can you see how this works? Now you got to think in 3 dimensions here. Okay, this is where creative visualization really helps. Luckily, I was pretty decent at this. That's why I scored a 9 on my ASVAB, a perfect score, because some of the questions they ask on the ASVAB is spatial relationships. So this is going to be a spatial relationship thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pan down to, instead of being a top-down view, and I will show you how to do this manually, and I'll show you how to do it with the keyboard. I'm going to pan down to I can actually kind of put it like this, so I can see all 3 axes. And I'm going to just take this blue, and I'm going to move it straight up. And I'm going to put it kind of here so it's aligned with my mesh, my grid. I like to do that. So now it's kind of sitting on this. See how it's like that? And it's dead center, sort of. Okay. Now, if you have emulated the keyboard properly, you can hit your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do it on your numeric pad. But these will change your views as well. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be like the front face-on view. This is going to be, let's see here, top-down. This is my top perspective. Like I said, hit 5, it changes per perspective. You get a little bit 3-dimensional, and then on orthographic, you're just doing a 2-dimensional, straight up, right above it. So if you're looking, right now you're looking top-down on it, right? Because here's your y-axis, right here, the red, and here's your x-axis, the green. So it doesn't have the blue icon, the blue arrow, because the blue arrow would be facing right toward you at the moment, right?
Yep.
Okay. So if I scroll down with my Alt and left mouse button, you can see, now I can see my blue arrow, right? Yeah, see how that works? This is your 3 perspectives. All right, so now we're going to get rid of this cube. Okay, I like working with like spheres and shit. So the way you're going to get rid of this, you're actually going to hit delete. You're going to highlight this to you have this little orange thing, and you hit delete. Okay, and you have to be in here. If you have your mouse over here, you can't do it. So you have to be inside this window, and then you're going to hit delete, and it'll say delete, and you say yes. Okay.
Easy.
Okay. Cube is gone.
Okay, so now we're going to start actually doing stuff. We're going to go to add down here. Okay, see what it says add?
Yep.
And we're going to add a mesh. And the mesh we're going to do is called a UV sphere. Okay.
Okay, just give me a second. Add mesh.
Got it.
I'm actually going to show you guys one of the videos I made. I probably shouldn't because it's going to be integrated in one of my other videos. But what the hell? You can see you can see how I actually created some of this stuff. Actually, you know what? Maybe, should I show the video first, Drag? You think?
I guess show one of them just to give an idea of
All right, I'll show you.
on.
All right, let's see here. And no, I don't have any escort services on this computer. Just FYI, so you ain't gotta worry about it.
Aw.
This is a Virgin computer.
Boring.
Yeah, it's like PG. Okay, because it's not even my computer. Videos.
Yeah, but if you're using someone else's computer, you gotta automatically fill it up.
Yeah. Right, so this is the one I made with Blender. It is from a tutorial that I highly modified. And so this is obviously you know who, right? So this is Ronnie's icon. This took me forever to map properly. It was not easy. And I added some bump texture here to make it look like, you know, give it some like depth and shit. It didn't come out perfectly. I noticed I had some blurring on the stars, and this is actually supposed to have more stuff coming out of it. But it took me 17 hours to render this, and I'm not going to do it over again. Unless I get really, really, really bored and I want to change it around a little bit. But anyways, so this is what it looks like after something's rendered. This would be my sphere that I just produced, right? And then I'll show you an animation. So this is how this works.
Just don't let it near water or it'll dissolve.
So that's a little particulate system. So basically what's happening here, this is actually an animation. This is actually supposed to show it impacting here, but I don't have the right angle to capture that because I couldn't get the face right if I pan this around more. So that didn't come out the way I expected. But I'm having like these other colors come through at more of like a, not random, but over a period of time. So you can see how it starts like melting and then eventually explodes. And this is actually supposed to get rid of all this, but it didn't. Oh well. But this is the kind of stuff that you can make in Blender.
Cool. So
that gives you an idea.
Saying this is the only, are you saying that this is the only way we'll have an impact on TE?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what?
I was saying, are you showing us that this is the only way we'll have an impact on TE?
On impact on whom?
TE.
True empiricism?
Oh, true?
TE.
Oh, yeah. Sort of. Yeah, that's actually, yeah, kind of. That's you know, my videos are having an impact on his channel because okay, check it out. You guys want? I mean, we're gonna diverge your guess in a second. You know, he did that video on me, which was pathetic because everybody knows he's so full of shit. It's coming out his ears. And somebody had asked me the other day. I think it was Mike J. He said, you know, hey Steve, don't you ever get frustrated that these guys just sit there and call you a liar and dishonest, and you're one of the most honest people in the entire community? And I'm like, it doesn't bother me. I mean, I literally realized that you have to look at the source, right? And these guys are inept and incompetent. And when you have people out there that have advanced degrees and expertise telling this guy he's a fucking moron, and they don't say that about me, that's all I care about, right? So if he wants to call me dishonest or say that I don't know what I'm talking about, that's fine. It makes no difference to me. But when he makes a video and it's so goddamn stupid, yeah, I'm probably going to make a response video because I enjoy that. Unfortunately, the video that I'm making right now, it's a little more advanced than I wanted to go into, but we'll see how it works out. Like I said, I got to do the narration, but I got to find a mic or something. But yeah, no, I think it is having impact on his channel, Opal, because when you look at his Hangouts, nobody wants to go in there. He gets like one person maybe. Nobody likes him in the live feed. His dislikes are through the roof. You know, I get about 6 dislikes, and that's usually the people that always dislike. But for the most part, I get a lot of likes on my videos, and people really do try to learn something. I dare anybody to come into my Hangout and tell me they've learned something from True in regards to science, and tell me what they've learned. If anybody does that, I will say, okay, True has taught somebody something about science.
I was more cracking at jokes.
But anyways, no, I mean, you know, I got to mix things up, right? So this is kind of like Blender.
No, it's good to rotate content, have a little variety, or else, things go stale, after
Yeah,
a
it gets
while,
stagnated. All right,
Yeah.
so this is gonna be my little spear here, and what we're gonna do on this, I have no idea where this is going. I'm just showing you how to do shit. So these are panels, obviously, right? The way this works is this shows all the different things in your scene. Okay, you have a world, which is your environment. My camera, I have a lamp, and I have a sphere right now. These are the things that are objects in my Blender rendering right here. So the way this is going to work is we're going to do this. I'm going to actually see all these facets here. Can you guys make that out?
Yeah, see little bitty squares.
Yeah. When you go to down here, you have object mode, okay, and you have edit mode. We're not going to use any of this other stuff. It's this sculpting is for if you have like mud or clay, and then textures and weights. You can actually like paint stuff, but we're just going to go to edit mode, okay. And what edit mode does is it produces this almost like wireframe, and it's all going to be highlighted. I'm going to pan this over here real quick. Yeah, let me close this window a little bit. We'll get to this in a second. If you hit the letter A, okay. Oh, there's Dave. Hey, Dave, come on in. I sent you the link on your Google Plus. Dave Vale is an expert on this stuff, so I'm just going to do the basics here. Maybe he'll like chime in. He's probably laughing at us, going, "God, Steve doesn't know what the fuck he's doing." All right, so yeah, sure. All right, so we're gonna hit A, and A is gonna get rid of.
Dave Vale, that's what I was talking about. David Ezio.
Oh, that okay. Yeah, that is David Ezio. That is his last name, huh? That's the other. Okay. I will come in, Dave. The link to the Hangout is on your Google Plus page, Dave. All right, so now you can see I got this little wireframe going on, right? These down here control what part I want to highlight. If you see this little orange thing, that means it's just the what's it called? The vertex. This is going to be the line. This is going to be these lines here, and then this is going to be a face, the panel. Okay, like facets. So if I just want to like do the face here, let me change the view here. Hang on one second. Okay, so hit 3 in your number pad, and then hit Shift and Alt and kind of move this to the center. Okay. So you should have that kind of like a face-on view.
Yeah, hit 3, then what?
Shift Alt should kind of move it around so you get that kind of this perspective. If not, just hit 3, and it should be a right orthographic view where this is like having your y-axis and your z right here. So this is looking from the right side, right orthographic view. And so imagine you're standing to the right of this object. Off to your right-hand side goes your y-axis, and then your z is going straight up, which is your blue. Okay, you got this so far?
I gotta. Mine's not cooperating. I gotta manually do it.
I'm gonna center this a little bit more. Okay, and you center it from the object view. So this is dead. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll center it. All right, so
it doesn't really matter as long as it's close enough.
Yeah. All right. Is that Dave or is it?
Yeah, that's his other account.
All right. Hey, what's up, buddy? I'll turn this over to you in a few. I just want to go over some of the basics. You got to help me with fire. I cannot figure out this fire. It's killing me. I can do smoke, and I can make some fire, but it doesn't render. It doesn't even show. I can't. And I've tried the nodes. I've tried everything, but my fire sucks. Did you see the 2-planet colliding thing that I did, Dave? He's fixing his mic. Okay, so when you fix your mic, I'll show it to you again. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to get rid of this top part of the sphere, okay, drag. And the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to use a box highlighter. So I'm going to hit box, a B for box, right, B. And then I'm going to hit the left mouse button and just kind of drag this rectangular over here to all that gets highlighted. See that?
You said you hit B?
You hit B to make box.
All right.
And then I'm going to hit the left mouse button and just drag it over to all those faces are highlighted. Oops, shit. One thing before you do that, actually, hit this button down here because you want both sides to be. What happened was, see how it actually only did 1/2 of this?
Oh, I did a quarter of this.
All the top half. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to hit A again and then hit this little thing right here. And this actually will take it all the way through here. Can you see that little button? I know it's probably hard, but...
Limit selection visible, is that what that is?
Yeah, so when I do this now you can see that it actually highlighted the entire top half. See? And then hit 3 to go back to right orthographic view. If it says right perspective, just hit 5, and that's going to switch between orthographic and perspective. So you want to be in right ortho for this.
My headset or something distorted. What do you hit to do the selection?
B.
B.
Yeah. If you ever make a mistake, all you got to do is Control Z, and that'll undo what you just did.
Ah, shit. I'm trying to get mine to...
Oh, I'm on probably the wrong mode.
I think I'm going to try to make some kind of like champagne glass with this. I think this is where I'm going to go with this, but I haven't done this one in ages, so it's probably going to suck huge. So you're going to have to fiddle with it. But this is kind of the basics of how to make a champagne glass.
You're on face mode.
Again, amateur here. Dave's the expert, but his mic still not plugged in. Dave, you're not working.
I keep getting something that looks like that picture of the kitty cat with the watermelon on his head. It's like a portion of the front side of it's not highlighting.
Well, you got to make sure that you have this button down here, limit selection visible.
Yeah, I have that selected.
Okay. And then you got to make sure you have faces, face select. You can use these too, but I just find right now this be easier.
Face select. Okay, let me.
Hello.
Yep, I can hear you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
Awesome, dude.
Right. Okay. With helping you out, I haven't got my computer set up right now. I'm gonna have to do a few things if I'm gonna do any kind of live demonstration. But yeah, I'm just gonna sit back and give you some advice wherever
Sure.
Okay.
You're the genius on this. This is like your baby.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that, but yeah.
Well, I've only started using it for a few months, and you know as well as I do, this does have a steep learning curve, right? This is not something that the average person can figure out in an hour.
Yeah, that's true.
It's very, very steep. But I'm finding that it's interesting that all the stuff you can do on it. It's very, very powerful. It's just very complicated.
Yeah, I mean it's got a game engine, it's got a video editor, it's got you can practically make an entire movie in Blender. If you're good enough.
Yeah, the only
Somebody actually did.
It would probably take
Yeah, they do.
Have any of you? Oh, what's it called? Bunny, I think it is called.
Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, no. Somebody did a bit movie with Blender already. I think it was Buck Bunny.
Yeah, they do open projects like every year. The latest one I think was called Cosmos Laundromat or something like that. Have you seen it? I don't think it's very good because they've all got very, very weird. What's the word I'm looking? They've got very strange storylines, and I don't know. I don't really like them myself, but it kind of advertises what Blender can do.
Can you see my screen, Dave?
Yeah, I can.
So I figured out how to wrap this with the. I mean, I knew how to do UV wrap, but I finally figured out how to make the mesh. Because
is that true empiricism there?
Yeah, this is. UV mapping, I'm still practicing. It's difficult. I get the concept because if you don't UV map it, then when I change the size of the sphere for something, it changes the image. I want the image to match the size of the sphere, obviously. Because if not, it's going to be like zooming in on his eye, and I don't want that. So anyways, this is a little thing, this little animation of two planets colliding with Drew's face on it.
Okay, cool.
It's a part thing.
Okay.
I should have randomized these a lot more, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, there are a few things that I'm not very good at. What I'm good at is modeling. I'm not very good at making characters. I'm terrible with particles, so I'm the wrong person to ask. Let's see what else.
I'm going to show you guys this one, even though I went my video. You want this is something I completely came up with myself, and I was just dicking around, and I just found a really cool lava thing that I made. What do you think of this, Dave? I need the fire for this, so this is what I need your help on. I'm going to leave this as is because I like the way it came out, but I need to know how to make fire, and I can't figure it out. So what this is a very simple render. You see the smoke coming up?
Yeah.
And I like the fact that the smoke.
Well, you need to use. Are you using a smoke sim?
Yes.
For that.
Yeah,
And
I made it so perfect on the smoke because it comes out from all the edges, and then as you get that very tip, the smoke channels away.
Yep.
Is that cool?
yeah, you've asked for one of the very few things I've never done. There are some very
Well,
good
what better you to
tutorials
be?
on fire though, smoke and fire.
Oops.
I mean, I can point you out some very good tutorials that will kind of help you out, but
Oh,
I don't know how to do it myself.
I've watched
And
every
there's,
tutorial on the planet. I still can't figure out the freaking fire. I just can't get it to render at all. It comes up on my
Yeah.
view screen, but it doesn't come up. It doesn't come up when I render. It just doesn't work. All right. Anyways, so are we back on? Oh, I'm sorry, Dave. Did you want to continue?
Who, me?
Yeah. Want to add anything
No,
else?
no, you continue.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So we should be at this right here. Got this going now, Drag?
Yeah, I figured it out.
All right. So we're going to delete this top part. So I'm going to hit delete D, and I'm going to delete faces. Okay. And now you can see I made a little bowl, right?
Let me catch up here. Oh, I got click on.
Okay. Yep, I have an empty bowl.
So I'm going to hit F3 again. That's going to put me back in right ortho. I'm going to hit Shift and Alt to kind of get it more center, and the left mouse button.
Oh.
And this is how we actually do some modeling. And there's many different ways to do this. I'm going to try it with the vertices. Okay, so I'm going to click this little button here for vertices, vertex select, and I'm just going to hit B for box again, and I'm going to try it this way. I'm going to hit B for box and put my arrow right here, my cursor, and I'm going to left click just the bottom part right here. Okay, so you just should have those vertices highlighted. Let me know when you got that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve, on mine, when I delete, do you just hit delete? Like
Hit
back
delete,
to-
and it'll ask you for confirmation.
Or you can
Yeah, it
press
comes
X.
up, and what do I pick? Oh, I can press X. Okay.
I have a John says I have a twin. Hey John, where you been? I tried to email you the other day, and your email's not working. I hope everything's okay with you, John. I was really kind of concerned about you, so I did try to email you, and it's not going through. So I don't know if you changed your email. But let me know what your new email is.
Oh, I see what's going on. For some reason, it's only selected half faces for me. Here, let me show my screen. What I did wrong,
Yeah,
because
there's-
when I did the selection...
There's a button you need to press. Yeah, okay. You see on the header at the bottom, right? You see there's the vertex, the edge, and the face mode. You see to the right of that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, okay. What was that again? Sorry about that. Okay, what do I do?
Okay, yeah. If you look at the header at the bottom, you've got where Steve's icon is now. If you move to the right, there's a thing called limit selection to visible or something like that. Just past the face mode thing, you need to deselect that, and then you'll be able to select. You see what it does. That button is any vertices that you cannot see will not be selected. So if you just select,
Okay.
it will only select the vertices that are in the front that you can actually see. Everything that's behind it will not be
There, I
selected. So you need to
found it, yeah.
deselect that. Yep.
And selection, how do I select, what was it? What do I hold to select?
B.
B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I forgot.
You've got
I forgot.
different. Yes. Okay.
Alright,
I
so
mean,
you
you've got
got
different
this
selection modes.
Now if I hit delete and I go, or hit F.
Yeah. Delete or X will work. Yeah, you've got numerous selection modes. You've got B for box select, C for circular select. If you press
There we go.
Control, in fact, I won't get too
Control.
complicated. I'll just let Steve do it for you.
No problem. John, glad you guys
Sorry,
are.
I'm slow.
Give me your email, John. Yes, by the way, yes, I do have a Patreon account now. I have had people have been overly generous, and I've been thrilled to death. Thank you guys so much. Obviously, you guys know that I have been financially strapped. It's been difficult, but you guys have majorly helped me out. And that's why I want to provide content for you guys. That's why I'm making videos, and that's why I'm doing hangouts and having these hangouts even at late at night. And I want to run them 24/7 eventually, so people have a place to go that's not flat earth debates. Of course, they have Nadia's channel, of course, and we love Nadia. But there's a lot of politics and things like that. Mine's going to be more science. I do have Patreon. I've got Twitter now. I've got PayPal, and just for shits and giggles, I'm probably going to throw an Amazon wish list, just because, like I said, if I find some like 100-year-old you know, fat grandma that's in poor health that wants to, you know, like buy me a mic. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I fucked up. I accidentally right-clicked, and so I turned the bottom of that bowl into a penis. So I wanna fix that because I don't get it.
You're gonna bowl under a penis. Hit Control Z, and that's
Just Control Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
So how did you find the whole right-click to select thing? Because a lot of people find that very, very annoying at first. Because you know, with everything else, it's left-click, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas with Blender, it's the it's the reverse, and it kind of throws people for a loop.
It still does. You know what? I've kind of gotten to the point where when I'm doing some of this stuff that I just kind of do it. But if you ask me how to do it off the top of my head, I would have no idea, right? I'm like, okay, I just hit Alt, left, box.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, you should be at this point. Now where the fun begins, Drag. What we're going to do is we're going to do what's called an extrude, okay? Sounds kind of nasty, but it's not. Extrude means that we're going to move these things around. So we're going to hit E, right? And when you hit E, oh, is it? Okay.
I hit E.
This allows you to move things with a little like arrow. So how I
Oh,
got
yeah, that's what I said I was doing. Yeah, when I turned it to a penis, that's how I did it.
Yeah. So E allows you to move it. I can move it. I'm just moving it on the Z axis right now. And if you escape, you can always go back. So when you hit extrude, you can you can move it on the X, Y, or Z. And the way you can limit that, if I just put like X, it just moves it on the X, which you can't really see here. If I hit Y, it's just going to move it on the Y axis. And you can do what's called an exclusion. If I just want to move it on the Z, everything but the Z, I can hit extrude Shift Z, and it'll extrude anything but Z. But I'm going to keep it real simple, and I'm just going to hit extrude, and I'm going to keep it on the Z axis. So I'll be able to pull this all the way down, and I can. Okay, so we're going to pull that down to there, and I'm going to scroll out a bit, and you should have that. And then when you're done with it, you're happy, just hit Enter and an A, and then I'll unhighlight that, and you should get a little extrusion.
Yeah. Do you know the other way of doing that, Steve?
Yeah, I know there's a different.
There's actually an. Yeah, if you extrude, right, and you move your mouse in the direction that you want to constrain it to, like the Z-axis. So if you start moving your mouse down, then hit the middle mouse button. It'll do that for you. It just saves you a click.
Yeah, because if not, what happens is when you extrude, you can actually go off center. Like for example, I'll show you. If you're not careful, if I wanted to highlight this and I extrude and I'm not careful, what happens is.
What was the key to do that extruding? Trying to remember. Was it D? No.
I can't screw it up.
Yeah,
I can screw this up.
D? Okay.
Sometimes when
the simple things.
I don't. Oh, hang on. You know what? I got it. Let me try this.
Yeah.
Let me look at your screen, make sure.
Let me just explain. Right, there's the great thing about Blender is there's very simple commands allow you to do a lot of very, very complicated things. There's things like extrusion, and all of the shortcuts are essentially the first letter of that word. So you've got E for extrude, S for scale, G for grab, and let's see what else. R for rotate. Yeah. If you remember those four things, you can do a hell of a lot.
Oh, so rotate. Ah, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you how to do it. I'm gonna show you how to size. I'm gonna show you how to rotate here. Actually, we don't need rotation, but. Oh, see how you're rotating it? Yeah. Now, see when you start getting like when you're rotating and it starts having the lines going through there, you try to avoid that as much as possible because when you go to render, it produces really bad results. But all right, so what we're going to do is now that you got that, we're going to highlight the little bottom here. Okay, so box and highlight, and there's many different ways of doing this, right? This is just one thing I found about Blender is very versatile. You can do things with the render modes that are either using this over here, or you can do it with the node editor. It's really kind of really versatile. Which, by the way, if you haven't done it yet, which if we do get into it, up here you see Blender render. Blender game where you can make a whole game out of this, like a 3D engine, and then cycles render. Go ahead and put it for cycles render because most of the time you're going to do things in cycle render.
Yeah.
So just get in the habit of changing that to a cycle render.
Okay.
So we're going to change that to cycle render. It doesn't affect anything right now, but just for future reference. Now you should have these highlighted. Now what we're going to do, we're going to make the base for this. So we're going to hit extrude, which is going to be what letter?
E.
Echo.
And we're going to hit. If we want to resize, what do you think the letter is for size?
5.
Yeah.
Uh,
How about S?
S.
R for Earth tape. Okay, S for size.
Scale.
Okay.
oh, there you go. Now I got the size. Yep, yep.
Okay.
S.
So we're gonna extrude and we're gonna hit size. Oops. And we're gonna try to make the base for this. 1 sec. So extrude, size, and I'm gonna bring this out a little bit. I don't know. No, you know what? This isn't working very well.
Oh, that's cool. Look at mine. I just hit E after I signed it. I hit E again, and now I got this.
Actually, let's try this. Let's try to bring it up like this. We're gonna make it like a base like this, okay? And then we're gonna hit extrude again, and size it. So E and S, and then size it out from there.
Do you know how to flatten vertices along a specific axis, Steve? So, because you notice that the vertices at the bottom are not completely flat.
Yeah, that's
There's
not
one
right.
that's kind of, yeah, okay. So if you look at it through the side view, so press 3 again.
Let me go back to where I was here. So I'm gonna go back to my side view.
Yeah, okay. Right, zoom in so I can actually see what's going on. Yeah, you see how it kind of peaks at the bottom.
Yeah.
You want them all flat, okay? And the way to do
Oh,
that,
you know what? Hang on. So I think I know how to do this.
yeah,
You're gonna hit size 0.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, because that'll just essentially.
It caps it. Wait.
Yeah, but they're all tiny in the center now.
Yeah. You don't want that? All right, let me undo.
Yeah. The easy way of doing that is press scale, Z, and 0, and it will
That's
just
what I did.
flatten them.
That's what I just did. That's how I flattened them. S, Z, and then
Yeah.
0. We'll
0.
put- yeah, and then enter. So what he just
Yeah.
did was, when you hit S, Z, 0, what it does is it scales everything to 0 and it'll flatten out this bottom like that. See how it actually
Oh, there we go.
is all empty here? What this did was it scaled it and it actually brought it into the center. And then, if you can highlight just the center there with the right mouse button. And how do I converge them to the middle? Is it what is it? There's a way to converge these to the center, and I don't remember what keystroke it is.
Alt M.
What is it? Alt M. Okay, so
Yeah.
this Alt M. Okay,
Yeah.
So they
to
merge?
center.
the center. Okay, and it's cool. It renders better when you do that. So here you're gonna hit Alt M, merge at center. All right, so we're gonna put this back in the F3 right orthographic mode. And I'm gonna screw it over here. Now we got to make the base. And by the way, I'm gonna add some surface modifiers and some other stuff to this too, Dave. So I'm gonna show them how to do this.
Okay.
What did I miss hit here?
Because right now, I mean, we don't have very much texture. If you ever hit Z regular, you go. Oh, not Z. What is it? Where's my wireframe?
All right. Oh, okay, there we go.
Now, if you go down here to shading, to rendering, see this little button down here where it says wireframe solid texture? If you hit render, this is what it looks like so far. But I don't have any lighting set up, and I don't have any modifiers so that you get this really coarse texture stuff. So this is what it just looks like so far. So pretty crappy, but Dave, do you remember the button command to actually show the buttons I'm pushing?
Yes, there's an add-on called
it's an add-on.
screencast keys. Yeah. So if you go to
Can I add it from here?
yeah, so go to user preferences, add-ons, and type in the search box screen, and you should find it somewhere. Screencast keys or something like that.
Let me try to just cast. Oops. No, not finding any add-on for it.
Hang on. Let me take a look. File.
I know. I
preferences.
thought it was an add-on or something because I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, you can do some
Oh, thank you.
absolutely amazing things with add-ons.
I really appreciate it very much, so.
Green.
And we're gonna do some more
Hey.
presentations. I got a couple presentations in the works from people. I know we're gonna do another one on human chromosome number 2. Anyways,
Hang on, I'm just doing a search for you.
yeah, if you can find it, let me know. It's just kind of help, even though I'm pushing buttons at random right now. But I like to have that for future reference. All right, so we're gonna make the base for this. So again, we're gonna hit B for box. We're gonna highlight this little portion here. I'm gonna hit E for extrude, right? And then I want to size it, so I'm gonna hit S, and this should bring it out like
Space
this.
preview. Yeah, Steve.
No, that's still
Okay.
not- God damn
Right.
it.
Okay.
What am I doing
You go
wrong
back
here?
to If you go back to user preferences,
Yes.
I'm on the wiki here. It's apparently in add-ons 3D view. And it is called screencast keys, so I'm kind of surprised that you can't find it with.
There's no screencast keys. I mean, I can install it from file if I download it. It's somewhere I can find it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's on the Blender wiki, so
Alright,
and
I'll worry
it used
about
to
it
be
later.
there.
I'll worry about it later.
Yeah.
All right. Let me. Why is it that I can't size this properly? Usually I have no problem with this. I'm trying to extrude, and I want to size it as I bring it down. I don't want it on the x-axis. Let me try Shift Z. Okay. See how you can do it now? If I don't have a limiter to the Z, this might what happens when you try to extrude. You can do it off the Z, and then it screws it all up. So I had it locked to the Z, and I don't want this for this. I want to be able to like not lock into the Z. So I hit Shift Z. That should not lock into the Z. It gets rid of that blue line that was right down the middle, to the right of the big blue line. And then when I hit S, it should extend it out. Well, see, that's still not what I'm wanting here.
See what I got,
So
Steve?
just extrude it down and then scale it afterwards, and you'll be fine.
So
I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to create the base, aren't you?
Okay, I got it. So I'm extruding down, so I want this, and then I'm going to.
Yeah.
I want to
Now scale.
I'm going to scale it.
You want to turn off proportional editing mode because it will scale everything.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I'm in proportional editing. How am I getting? How do I get into proportional?
Okay. Do you remember where the limit selection to visible button was? Just to the right of that, the blue circle. Turn that off. Right there.
Oh, that's right. I want it in disable. That's okay. Yeah. So there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, now you can see. See, I was in proportional editing. I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. Thank you, Dave. I don't want proportional editing. So what I want to be able to like size this after I extruded it. So I extrude it out, which is going to make it just like this, right? Now when I hit size, now look what it does. Now it gives me that nice flare on the base. So that's how it should look. Thank you, Dave. And it's starting to look like a glass now, right? Like a cup. All right, so you got that, and yours is a little strange, but it might work. Don't worry about being like perfect. I mean, this is like just basic stuff. So, anyways, now I'm gonna show you how to actually add some textures to this. The first thing I want to do is I want to add a light, though, because if you want to ever render this and see what it looks like, you need some kind of light source, because lighting is everything. The way I'm going to do this, I'm going to hit Add, and I'm actually going to go into Object Mode, okay? Object Mode. And I'm going to hit Add, and I'm going to go to Lamp. And Dave might be able to tell you the main differences between these stuffs. I find that there's advantages and disadvantages of some of the stuff. The sun looks like pretty much like a star would be, how it projects the light. A spotlight kind of focuses on a much more narrow parameter.
Yeah, I mean, the sun is an infinite light. You can position it wherever you want. It's going to shine pretty much universally across the scene. Point lamps have got a fall off. Spotlights are the same. Hemi lights, don't ever use hemi lights. They're useless. Area lights are just.
What do you think I should use for this? Spotlight?
Hey, you can if you want.
Yeah, I'm going to use Spotlight. All right, so I'm going to use Spotlight. Yeah, because you know what? I'm going to show you how to use Spotlight because sun is infinite, so you don't have to do much with it. This, however, is a little more interesting because this is a spotlight you produce. And then I'm going to move it on the Z up here. And then I'm going to rotate it by using what button? What rotates? R. And I'm going to rotate it over here. So now I've got it looking down in here. And I'm going to move this around to make sure that I got it kind of correct. You know, maybe I can move it over a little bit if I want. Okay. Oops, shit. So now I got the spotlight shining down on it. Okay. And then.
Let me catch up here.
What's that? You can do it from either side, top, bottom, any way you want to do it.
Yeah,
I want to.
Let me catch up here. Okay. Add spotlight. Lamp.
And now we get to show you some stuff over here because we're going to adjust the strength of the lamp. See these little buttons right here? These are the bread and butter of navigating through Blender. So I'm going to click this one right here because this is my spot lamp. Okay. And if you go down here and it says strength, this is how much the energy level. And it's all different. I mean, the strength for like a lamp is going to be way different from the sun. And some of them you put 100, it's going to blind everything. So you got to play around. I'm actually going to put this. I'll put it at like 500 just to kick it up, and we're going to give it a slight maybe blue color, I guess. I like blue. So we're going to just. So click in this little thing, and it brings up this. You can put it in manually, putting in a hex code, or you just do it with
Click
art.
on what?
So I'm going to keep
Sorry,
this
I'm trying to catch up. Oh, I see it.
and then I'll give it a little blue color. And let me see how this looks real quick. If you hit F12, by the way, F12 will do a quick render of one frame, and it'll kind of give you an idea of where you're at. So this gives it that blue color, and it gives it a little shading. See how the lamp's coming down from this angle? See how it's darker on this end? Right? So it actually has a spot lamp. So it's showing exactly the lighting system. Okay, so if you hit F12, you'll get this little render, and then you just hit escape to get out of it. Okay? Now we're going to do some texture modifications. I'm going to go into object mode if you're not already in it, and I'm going to right-click on the glass. Okay? And now I want to get rid of all these little facets. I want it to be smooth, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go to this little wrench. Okay? This is the modifier. I'm going to go add modifier. These are all the modifiers that you can do, and I swear to God, I don't know half of them. I don't think anybody does. There's a lot of crap you can do with these modifiers. I've worked with quite a few of them, but this is like, this would probably take you a year to learn all these things, unless you're David.
Nah.
These are a lot of shit in here.
Give it about a week, you know, you'll be fine.
No. Laplace transformations and the forms? Yeah, okay, right.
Yeah, well, you don't generally use those. Those are very, very specific ones. I mean, you're going to be mainly using, you know, things like the mirror modifier, subdivision surface. What else?
I've used Ocean.
Edge split sometimes.
All of these. I've used Curve. I've used. I haven't used any of these. These I've used a lot of, and of course I've used all of these because you have to use the UV project stuff to modify, but you don't usually go in here to do it. But anyways,
no.
I'm going to go to subdivision surface modifier. Okay, use this one the most.
Let me go to that.
Any. And what subdivision surface does, it produces. See, I kind of screwed up here. See how I screwed that up? But I can still fix that, I think.
Oh, mine looked really good. Take a look at mine quickly.
Did it smooth it out?
Yeah, I just that's all I did was add it. Let me go Z so I can do. That's what I started out with. And then
Yeah, just to let everybody know, the main concept behind the subdivision surface modifier is it allows you to create very, very complicated models out of a very simple mesh. So, so I mean, you seem to. In fact, Steve, actually, do you know what's going on with the pinching?
Yeah, when I extruded it, it put some extra points in there. I'm going to use.
I think there's some extra vertices there.
I'm going to cut in I'm going to cut something in, and then I'm going to fix that. So
okay.
I'm going to ask you something because I think he's a little ahead of. You see mine? How? Oh, I was going to ask. How do you add in?
How do you add what?
Okay, can you see? Like I share my screen.
Yes.
You see in here? How do you put that in so it doesn't look like it's getting holes?
I'm gonna show you how to fix some of this stuff.
Okay.
All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this subdivisions view 2. Okay. So you want 2 and 2. See, this is gonna make it even smoother. Okay.
Oh wow! Look at mine.
Okay. Now I'm gonna go over here and see what says shading smooth. You're gonna hit smooth, and that's gonna smooth all that out.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you how to fix this. My boober right here. I'm going to go back into edit mode.
I have to come back.
Where's
that shading smooth? Where's that shading smooth?
Yeah, shading smooth. This hopefully will fix this. This is going to be a little complicated. Well, not complicated, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to produce a little cut in here. Okay, I'm going to hit A to get rid of. A will just select everything, and I want to produce a little thing in here. It's called a what is it called? A cut?
Yeah, you're talking about. Oh shit! I've forgotten what it's called myself.
It's okay. I'll show you how to do it.
You're talking about Shift R, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, Control R. Okay.
Control R. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Control R is going to produce this little purple line right here, and you can actually scroll the wheel. See how I'm doing this? If you want to make more of them, okay. Okay, but I just want one. This is a really cool trick to fix this kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'll make that little purple cut. These are going to produce a cut in there. So see, let me show you real quick. See these lines right here, guys? Like right here, if I highlight, let me highlight this right here. See these lines? See the line that I highlighted? I want more of those, right? Because I want some of these down here so I can manipulate it more. So what the cuts do is it produces that. So I'm going to hit Control R, and that'll give me that purple line. Now when I hit Enter, it puts it right there. See it? And I can move it up and I move it down. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it all the way to the top. Okay? And I'm going to hit Enter. And that should get rid of that, when I render it, I should get rid of that little mess up that I had. Yeah, see? Now it's all smooth. And I'm going to make another one. Let me get out of here. I'm going to make another one, so hit Control R, Enter, and then I'm going to put it all the way down to the bottom. Okay, so that kind of it sharpens your edges. Okay, that's what that's really good to do. It sharpens that edges. So if you do make those
cuts, by the way,
fix it with
So,
Control R.
Okay. Do I select anything when I do that? Or,
no, just hit Control R, hit Enter, and then move it up to the very top, and then hit Enter.
Okay.
And then repeat
Yeah.
it.
You basically hover your mouse over the part that you want to add the loop cut and press Shift R. So if you just hover your mouse over the middle of the base, press Shift R, and it should invoke it.
Hey, Lou.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Yeah, that fixes a lot of that crap, right?
Well, it doesn't really fix it. I mean, you've still got a problem. Steve, can you look at the thing from the top for me? Because I think I know what the problem is. I think you've got a vertex in the center that needs to be deleted.
He does.
Okay, if you zoom in, right to the center, you see that point right in the middle?
Yeah.
Select it and delete it.
All right, so
Problem solved.
I'm going to open
Press
that up.
it.
So I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to hit Delete Vertices.
Yep.
And that's going to get rid of all that. So that's going to open up that hole in the middle. Okay. Thank you for pointing that out.
Oh, by the way, have you ever used the solidify modifier?
I did once. I don't remember what I used it for.
Okay, just add it now, and you'll see what it does.
All right, so we're going to go to Add Modifier.
Solidify.
We're going to go to Solidify.
I mean, all glasses have thickness, right? So.
Oh, does it give a bevel to it?
No, it just gives an object, because it's just a flat, essentially, well, it's 3D, but in terms of depth, it's got no depth to
bevel.
it.
No,
yeah.
We're going to change the thickness here to what? What do you want to go to, 0.05?
Something like that. Just.
All right, that gives a little. See how that gives a little bevel around the edges? Let's see how that looks when it's rendered. Yeah, that's not too bad, is it? All right, so try that, guys. Add the solidify and change your thickness to 0.05. And the big thing on Blender is these numbers. Yeah, it's trial and error. I mean, it took me. That was probably the hardest thing to try to figure out what numbers to use, because I have 0.05, but look what happens if I put like 2. And then re-render it. It's going to make it really, really. Yeah, it just distorts it so much, right? So you really got to be careful with your numbers. So I'm just going to go 0.0 again. And that should give me a nice little bevel on that edge. Nice little thickness. All right, Opal, you got that?
Yeah, I'm just trying something here. Yeah, I won't go at the bottom since it distorts it the way I don't like it. Take a look at mine.
Yeah, it's okay. Again, this is practice. Okay, so now I've got a little bit of thickness to it. I got a little color. I will be adding a plane underneath it, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to add some texture to this, okay? Because let's say we want to make it into a glass, right? So this is where it starts to get more complicated. Hey, Drag, can you send Brenda the link to the Hangout?
Who?
Brenda Von Austin.
Put the name in the side chat.
Yeah, well, just send it to her like manually through the email, or not email, but like outside chat. Okay, so
Gotcha.
this. Well, hey, Dave, do you think I should show the texture first, or how to do put it like a table first? That's easy.
I don't know. It's up to you.
So we're gonna make this sit on something. So I'm gonna add a plane. Okay. So you want actually go to object mode. Oh, see how okay, wow. See how I've got these problems here, these little defects? It shouldn't have
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
I can
Try.
fix these a little bit though. Let me see if I can. Let me try this on my own, see if I can fix these.
I'm guessing that's an artifact of the
Yeah,
solidify modifier.
that's Blender. I get a lot of artifacts, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see if I can produce it. Let's see here. So that didn't get rid of
Okay.
it.
You see the little eye icon next to the solidify modifier?
Yes.
Just turn that off for a second and see if
I.
that fixes. Yeah. You see where it says solidify at the top?
Yeah.
There's to the right. There's an eye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now take a look at the bottom. See if it's gone. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's an artifact of the. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So what
I
the
think
eye
you need
does?
to reduce the thickness.
Let me go down to 0.025. Yeah, it's not too bad. I don't. You have to play with it. What this eye does is it shows you. It takes it out of the actual window or not. It just means is it visible. You can do it up here too. This means is it visible, and this means is it rendered. Okay. So the camera. If you click the camera, it's going to take it out and not render it. I don't care if it has a little artifact. I like the 0.5, 0.05, and then we'll go from there. If it has a little artifact, it's fine. We'll see how it renders. I can change it. Let's add a little base for it to sit on. So we're going to go add plane. Okay. And we're going to move this along Z to right underneath this. Okay. And I want to make it bigger. So I'm going to show you how to scale this plane. You hit S, and then I'm going to hit 5. Okay. And what that does is it automatically takes it 5 times, and I hit Enter. Now look, I have it actually sitting on a plane. Okay. Pretty cool. Did you get that, Opal?
Yeah, I'm actually ahead of you because I already had a base.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm actually the textures for the base first because bases are important. It gives you some reflection and some other stuff. So we're going to actually send it in a little bit of node editing a little bit. So what we're going to do is you make sure you're back in object mode, and you're going to hit the let's see here, spot sphere. Where's my plane again? Did I lose my plane? Did I lose? How the hell did I lose my plane?
No, it's there. I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it, but I don't. It's not up here.
Oh, right. Yeah, because your plane is actually part of the wine glass.
I don't want it as part of the wine class.
Okay. So what you need to do here, let me show you a little trick. Zoom out a bit.
Okay.
And Ori, just change the camera so I can see the plane. Just rotate. Yeah. Okay. Now hover your mouse over any vertex, right, and press L, and that will select everything that's connected to that vertex, which will just be the plane underneath. No. For the actual plane.
Yeah, I'm trying to. It's not. I've done this before though too, and I can't. It's not. That's horrible. I don't know how they came up like that.
It's actually getting pretty easy, just if I can remember everything.
Let me try this.
Okay.
Let me try this again here. Let me try this. Let me clear everything. I want a plane at this. I'm going to produce a plane here.
You need to exit edit mode. If you add a mesh while you're still in edit mode,
right.
it will add it to that model.
I want to be in object mode.
Yeah, that's what you did.
Now I want to add mesh. Yeah, there we go. You're right. So my bad. I want to be in object mode. I want to add mesh because it's going to add it to that, and I don't want it to add it. You can merge things too after you produce things into one group, and that's what it kind of did. It just put it into one group. So I want it separate. I'm going to add a plane, add mesh. Now I'm going to slide this over. Now I'm going to hit size 5, and there you go. Now I've got an independent plane up here that's separate from my little goblet. Okay, is that cool? You guys got that now?
Yeah.
All right, so at F3, we're putting back in my right orthographic view. And now we're gonna actually make the reflection on the table. And the way I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go over here, and this is little circle here, this little sphere, is your material button. Okay. And you're gonna hit material and new. Now, if you don't have cycles render up here, it's going to be a little confusing. So make sure that you do have cycles here, and it's going to produce this little box. And you can do it right from here. The surface will like say, okay, what kind of surface do you want? Do you want it to be a glass table? Do you want it to be diffuse? Do you want it to be transparent? I'm going to actually show you how to make a mixture. You could do it through here, but I like to use the node editor for this. So we're going to go to, you know what, I'm going to create a new window. I'm going to show you guys how to create a new window. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this little window up here. Okay, this is your timeline. And see this little thing way over here, guys? I'm going to move that over here. So I'm creating a new window because I like to keep my timeline. But I'm going to hit this little button down here, and I'm going to change this to node editor. Okay? And then scroll in a little bit. Okay? Actually, you know what? I can get rid of the timeline for right now. So you should see a thing like this, and these are going to be node editor. And what your node editor is, these are actually this right here. Anything you do here, we'll put in the node editor and vice versa. This is more of a visual way to do all this stuff. Okay? Like see here it says diffuse. This is my diffuse. Okay? And then you could actually change the color from here, like I want it to be blue. Change it over here. Okay? And vice versa. See? Okay, so this is a more visual way of doing with it, and I'm going to make it into a kind of a glossy, so it kind of reflects the light. So I'm going to change this to, I want a white table, so I'm going to make all these 0, okay, if they're not already. Oh wait, actually, no, I want all 1, that's what it is. Yeah, all 1. So these will be all 1. I want red, green, and blue to be all 1. And that's going to give me a pure white table. Now, when we add nodes, okay, these are the different nodes I want, and I want to be able to mix two things together. So I'm going to make what's called a mix shader. And what a mix shader does is it mixes two different things together. So if you just drop it in here, it automatically connects these things, okay? And then so I have one shader going into here, and then I have it go into my material output, which is going to be what I'm rendering, what I'm seeing. And then I want to add a glossy. So I'm going to say shader and glossy. Now I'm going to put that glossy one right down here. I'm going to connect it to the other shader. And this is my fraction of how much is going to be half and half. So right now I have half diffuse, half glossy. Okay? And so when I go to render the table here, see if this shows it.
You probably need to bring the roughness down.
See the table now? See how it actually reflects off the table?
Oh, cool.
That's giving me a little bit of a reflection. Oh, you know what? I should show them how to do them in the camera, real quick. I guess that would be important. All right, so let me show you how to do a quick camera thing. This is important. This right here over here, this funny-looking thing. This is your camera, okay? And I'm going to show you the greatest trick in the world that will save you a hell of a lot of time when working with the camera. Because if not, the camera is very confusing. Because you've got your 3 axes and you've got your rotation on it. And it's really hard in your head to figure it out which way you want to move it. So what you're going to do is very simple. You are going to hit 0 on your number pad, and that's going to show you what it looks like through your camera, what you're actually taking a picture of or a photograph. And yes, you can change your focal length. You can do all kinds of things like you would like a normal camera. I can scroll out. I can scroll in. I can move it around through here. Okay. But what I'm going to do is I am going to hit N, and N is going to bring up a little bit of window right here. And right here you see lock camera to view. Okay. Then I'll hit N again to get rid of that. And what that allows you to do is now look at, I can move this around any way I want. And my camera stays fixed. So instead of having moving the camera around to get the best angle, I can hit Shift and Alt and the left mouse button and just move it to wherever I want it. This is like the easiest way to get your camera to show what you want from whatever view you're looking at. And I can scroll in and out as well. Is that pretty cool? So when I go to render this, right, that's what the camera's looking at. So when I hit F12, boom, what you see is what you get. And now can you see the glare from the spotlight on it, on the table? Because I've got a little reflection on it.
Oh, cool.
And of course, we
Yeah,
have to play with
if you want to see those reflections, you probably want to turn down the roughness.
yeah, I'm gonna kick down a notch. So what he's saying is when I go back into my node editor, so I'm gonna click this table again, and I'm gonna go down to 0.05 on the roughness, and I'm actually gonna check.
I'm gonna do all that when I rewatch this. I'm gonna do all that.
Yeah, you play with these numbers. I'm gonna kick this down to like 0.25, so it has a little bit less glossy, and then I'll render it again and see what it is. Nice. No, you know what? I like the 0.5. And I normally want to do something like this, but just to show you what else you can add to this stuff, because the node editor is so powerful. If I wanted to make like the table like its own emission source, I could actually go add. I can go emission. Okay, this is going to be really cool. I haven't tried this, but it should actually work. And I'm going to go mix again because I got to mix them together. So input. Oh wait, shader mix. And I'm going to click that to there. And I'm going to click that to there. And let's see. See if this works. Oh, that's too bright. Way too bright. Just go to strength 1. So what I do is the emission produces its own light. So I want to see if this actually works.
There we go.
Yeah. So now I've got the table actually producing its own light a little bit, and I can see a little reflection here. See? But I'm not actually going to leave it like that. But this emission will make a light source, and it'll make something bright. But I don't like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, you can use a Fresnel node as well.
Yeah, I use Fresnel if you use metals. There's another node here called Fresnel, and if you use metals like copper or whatever, it gives it a little bit more of a metallic look to it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, using the technique you were just doing, you can plug in an emission shader, use the Fresnel, so it just hits the angles of whatever model
right.
and it creates a rim light.
All right, let's try that. Okay, so I'm going to go back and add my emission.
But don't do it on the table though. Do it on the glass.
Do it on the glass. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of here. I'm going to click the glass. Okay, and then my node editor. I'm going to hit new because I want on the glass, and I'm going to add shader glass. Okay, because I want to make it into glass. And I'm going to add a mixer, mix shader, and then I'll have the Fresnel after that, and with an emission. So make sure I'm doing this right. So I need another mixer. I need a Fresnel. I know I'm doing this real quick, but this is just I want to see if I can actually figure this out, and then I can show you guys. All right, so emission, and then put it into a Fresnel. You said?
No. Okay. What you need to do is. Obviously, let's see. It's kind of hard to see where you are now because the screen is so small.
Oh, I can put it up here.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look. So you want to plug the glass directly into. You don't. Yeah. You don't really need the diffuse, do you?
No.
It's right.
Okay.
Okay, and then. Right, okay, I'm just trying to figure out the best way of doing this, because nodes actually because I'm sure you've used them quite a bit, they get very complicated very fast.
Yeah, I know, I'm trying to keep this simple. I think you could just can you just run it through the Fresnel?
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to, okay, let's see.
Can I run it through that way? And I don't need the mix shader?
No, you want the Fresnel to be used as a factor.
Oh, you just wanted the factor, okay, so let me...
Yeah, that's right. And now use the Fresnel as the factor. No, for the mix
for the mix shader.
No, the other one.
Mix shader down into here.
No, for the other one.
Okay, I got you. So it's gonna go up here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now try rendering that, and you should, depending on the value of the Fresnel.
Oh, there you go.
You see how it's hitting the rims?
Yeah, give it a little glow to it.
Yeah. It's a trick to create rim lights if you are having problems with, normal lights.
That's actually pretty cool. I'm gonna leave that as is to see how it comes out. You can actually, you can add what's called a bump or a what's the other one? A noise filter. And if you put a noise in here, it actually makes it kind of bumpy and put some like defects in it. Like if you want to make dirt, like a dirty glass, you would put a noise filter in here, and that puts like a random noise on it, I guess. Okay, so anyway, what happened to my plane here, buddy? Why is my plane went to hell?
I don't know.
Oh, because I didn't. I had it disconnected. So let's look at the plane. So this is the node editors, guys. So if it's moving quick, don't sweat it. But I'm gonna leave that on there. Do you like that, or do you want to try it without it, just so they can see the glass as is? But you can see the reflection on the table pretty well now, right? Do I want to keep the emission, Dave? You think, or just show them without the glass?
It's completely up to you. I was just, showing you a trick that I quite often use.
All right, I'm gonna take it off. These are actually fireflies. There's a trick to get rid of these two, but I'm not gonna worry about it right now. All right, so I'm gonna actually get rid of the Fresnel, just for right now.
Oh, by the way, Steve, do you know how to mute nodes?
The fireflies?
No. Because if you wanted to disconnect all of that, you've just had to delete all those connections. Say you wanted to keep the connections, but just wanted to essentially disable it for a little while. You just click on the node and press M, and it will actually mute it.
Yeah. And also you can group these too and make them smaller. Like if you got a big project, you can group these together as like one little node, and then it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And there's another add-on that I didn't use, the Node Wrangler. Have you used that one?
Yep, I use it all the time.
Cool. What Node Wrangler does is it allows you to show you what a specific node would do without changing everything. So it's pretty cool. Jeremy Pace, can somebody invite him? Somebody send him the link from in here. Anybody? Brenda, can you take care of that for me?
Steve, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What is your primary interest when it comes to learning Blender? I mean, what was the impetus that made you want to learn it in the first place?
Just so I could try to make some more creative videos. That's all.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
No. It's just because like with me, it was I was fascinated by ships and mechanical things. I'm just trying to find out what kind of what you really want to do with Blender.
I just want to make, I wanted to learn how to do some animations and shit like that, because I mean, I didn't, when I first started learning it, I was like, wow, I just can't imagine how they do this stuff. It's magic. And once you start learning it, you're like, well, it's not magic, but it's really hard and it's fun. So
yeah.
All right, so we're gonna exit out of here. And anyways, I got rid of that Fresnel. It's not a metal, so I'm not going to really use Fresnel anyways. My poor computer's getting hot. One sec. Yeah, it doesn't even like Google Hangout. Okay, so.
If I'd won the lotto last month, you'd have a brand new computer.
Yeah, no, somebody's actually supposed to have been hooking me up. We'll see. Let me see what my temperature is right now. It feels warm, but I've got a real temp monitor on my little laptop. It's at 95 degrees Celsius. Holy crap. Distance to TJ Maxx is 15. But that's usually what it runs when I'm running a Hangout anyway, so if it burns up, it burns up. Alright, so it doesn't like Hangouts. It runs it really hot. Somebody can invite Jeremy Pace? I guess I can. I guess go here. Where's it?
Just hold on for a second. I'll be back.
I sent him an invitation.
All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to, where am I at here? Where's my render? Oh, yeah, you know what? I'm going to change the world view real quick because I got to get a background because obviously it just looks kind of weird with all gray. So I'm going to hit this little thing up here that says world, okay, this little button here. And I'm going to say use nodes. And this is where you can actually put an image. If you want to use an image, you just hit. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you how to do this first. I'm going to put a black background. So I'm just going to put it all the way down to the bottom, and it's going to make my world black. So when I hit F12, I should have all black except for what I'm going to highlight. Yeah, so it made it all black here. I'm actually going to increase the strength of my lamp, though. It's off the dull. So we're going to go to lamp. Where's my spot lamp? And we're going to make it, let's make it 1,000 and see what happens. You know what? Let me make it a sun. How about a sun? Make it a universal lighting. Okay. Ooh, that's really bright. No, I like it. Yeah, see how sun is like all over? It's like infinite. So I want the spotlight.
Hangout was doing pretty good there.
Okay.
Steve, do you ever use mesh lights?
Right. I don't know. I mean, how high do I got to kick this up for a spotlight?
Steve, do you ever use mesh lights?
What do I use? What?
Mesh lights.
Mesh lights? I have not tried mesh lights.
Yeah, the thing about mesh lights is you'll get a lot better reflections. You ever seen how they take photographs of cars?
Uh-huh.
They'll have an enormous, what do you call
yes. I can do a mesh light. Sure. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Let me do this. Okay, what we're going to do, guys, I'm going to delete the spotlight. Okay, that's gone. And I'm going to produce a mesh light. I didn't catch what you were saying. So the way this works is interesting. I'm going to make a plane with mesh. So add mesh plane. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let me put this in a better view. I want this to be. I want to get out of the camera view. Oops. Dang it. So I'm going to hit F3, right? And now I'm going to make plane. So mesh plane. Okay. And I'm going to size it. Let's make it double the size. That should be big enough. So size 2. We'll double it. And what this is going to do, this is going to be an emitter. This is going to make a light. So I'm going to actually put it way up here. I'm going to put it over here. Make sure it's like somewhere here. And then I'm going to rotate it. You can do this. You can do it with a plane. You can do it with a bar. You can do it a couple different ways. I'm going to try this one first. Then I'm going to rotate this. See, I'm on the Y. Nope, I'm on the X. So RX. And so it's pointing towards the chalice, whatever. Yeah. So see how it's pointing down toward the chalice here? So RX will rotate it just along the x-axis. So my center is right here. So I'm going to pull this down. I'm going to rotate it so it's pointing toward it. And if I have to size it up again, I can size it more. Like I'll make it a little bit bigger. I can manually size it, or I can just hit size 2 will double. Size 0.5 will make it half. Okay. Pretty simple. You got that, Opal? Opal? Did we lose Opal?
I don't know.
I just muted my. No, I'm here.
All right. You following along still, or you gave up?
Yep. I just stopped for now. I'll finish up mostly when
All
I
right.
read.
So now I'm going to make this into an emission source. Okay. So the way you do this is you go to Material again, and you hit New. And this is going to bring up another material. Now I got material 3, which is going to be this one. If I want to copy it from another material, I can do that. I can just pull over here and I say, oh, I want one of these other materials. Like this is my glass material. So if you have numerous materials, this is how you select it. I'm just going to create a whole new one. And I'm going to set, I'm not even going to use nodes. I'm just going to do this straight from here. I'm just going to go to emission. And I'm going to set the strength to, let's say 100. And let's see how that renders. What this should do is it should put, oh, that's way too bright. Let's try 10.
Steve?
It should produce a light source just right over it to give it a little bit like you would for like movies. You know how they have those big lights? That's how that works.
Or for
Yeah, that instantly looks better.
shoots,
Yeah, that's really
yeah.
good.
There are photography shoots where they get you to hold those little panels. It's basically
exactly.
the same thing.
And you know what?
It's like creating a softbox.
What's that?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like creating a softbox in photography.
And you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm still going to create. This is the light that comes with it in your default. I'm going to actually get rid of that. You don't need it. So, but I am going to actually create a spotlight because I think it's going to look cool with a little bit of spotlighting on it. So I am going to create object. There's an add lamp. I am going to create a spotlight. I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm just going to put it over here. And I'm going to give it a little blue hue. I think it'll look kind of cool.
Jeremy's having trouble rejoining. He got dropped. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
I have no idea. Oh, if you're getting an error message that says something like authentication issues, just clear your browser and restart your browser, and it should get rid of that. Obviously, my lamp is not positioned right because I'm not seeing it. So let me see what my issue is here. I make it. It's high enough. So let's see here. Why is my lamp not showing up here? It's right on it. I mean, I got to kick this up a notch. Let me put it at 5,000. And I'm going to do a quick render. We do that with F12 again. It should be showing a little bit of blue color. Do you guys see any blue color?
No.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, there I see it.
There I see it. All right. So
It's
as you can
totally
see,
missing.
it's not quite on the glass yet. So I got to move over just a little bit. So let me try to rotate it a little bit at F12.
Do you want to, Steve? Do you want to know a trick
Sure.
to make this a lot easier? Okay. You'll have to excuse me here. I'm kind of losing my voice. Okay. So if you select the lamp, okay, then press Shift and select the goblet or calice. No, you want to select the lamp first and then select the goblet afterwards. So that's the active object. No, you want them both selected. Okay. Now press Shift and select.
Like that. Shift.
Okay. Now press Control T.
Oh, and then
And track.
Yeah. Track to constraint, right?
Yes, that should work.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Now you can just move it around and it will always point at that point.
Thank you. What he just showed, what I did was, I forgot about that. If you hit Shift, you can highlight multiple objects. So I'll hit Shift to the lamp and Shift for the goblet, and then what is it? Control T for tracking, and then it'll actually put it right on it. So when I render it like this, it should be spot on. There we go. Now it's spot on. See, now I got the spotlight here, and now it gives that little bit blue thing from the spotlight. Pretty cool?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to my 3D view, save this file. So what you're going to do is hit save. I'm going to put this as glass cup, I guess. That's fine. Save Blender file. You should always save, like, all the time. And just change the save file. Save, like, cup 1, cup 2, cup 3. Because I tell you right now from experience, if you fuck something up and you can't go back and fix it, you want to have a save file. Because it's really hard.
And also, Windows has a bad habit of rebooting on you.
Yeah, before you render it, you definitely want to save, because if it crashes, you're screwed. And I'm going to show you something real quick. This little camera right here is how you get into your renders. You actually render it. So when you hit render, right, it's the same thing as hitting F12. It gives you a little quick render from your camera perspective. Okay. So this is what it looks like when I render it. If I want to make it better quality, okay, I'm actually going to go down to here. Where's that? Sampling. And my preview right now is 32 samples. Okay, the higher you have here, the slower it works, but the better preview you get. And the render is what it's actually going to be when it's rendered. Okay, so if I kick this up to like 500, and it depends on what your scene is. Sometimes you may want to go higher or lower. Like if I rendered my previous one at 500, it would have taken probably 3 months to render. I did it in 25, but this is a simple 1 cent picture. So when I render this one with 500, let's see how long it takes and what it does. It makes it much more higher quality. Let's see. 500 still might be enough, but you see how it gives a little bit more sharpness to it, and it'll start actually making it more into a glass by rendering it better. 500 is too high, but it makes it for photorealism. See, now it's making it more into glass. So the higher that number is, the more samples it's going to take. I don't need 500, 200. 200 should be fine. But just remember, the more samples you have, the longer it takes. But that's pretty good for 500, right? Gives you a little shine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
So, let's see here. Where else do you want to go from here, Dave?
I don't know. I don't know where you are in terms of what you've learned. Right, okay, let me just explain something. I've got a problem with giving kind of presentations because the only mic I've got right now is this damn Guitar Hero mic. So I've got to hold it up to my mouth, which means that I've only got one hand free. So I can't really use Blender. So I think before I should give any sort of presentation, I'll have to make some sort of makeshift stand or something, you know? Have you heard of the Bool tool?
Heard of the what?
Steve, Bool tool is an add-on.
Um,
There are a few add-ons that you really want to enable.
let me see here.
So if you go to user preferences, Bool tool is one,
Bull or
and
Bull?
Bool.
Cool.
Yes, Booleans.
Oh, Boolean.
Yeah.
Alright.
Just type in Bool.
Yeah, I did, and I think
Oh Christ, and it's not finding that either. Okay, forget that for now.
I mean, I
Type
can
in.
install from file if I download it. So. But,
Yeah, I'll have to send you the link.
Yeah. So.
Okay, type in dynamic. There should be something called the dynamic spacebar menu.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right,
Enable that.
I'm gonna enable this. Okay, and I'm gonna
Okay.
also enable Wrangler too. You guys may not ever use it, but I like my Wrangler. Isn't it right? Oh, I'm in 3D view. Hang on. Ah, that's why. Okay, so my node Wrangler is enabled. Let me try Boolean now.
Yep.
No, it doesn't exist. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
So this is how I do
Okay.
add-ons. This is how you would, like, for example, like if I have like add curve sapling, that's how you'd make a tree. You know, it makes a little sapling for you. So these are all add-ons you can use, but I have not played with many of them. Which other add-ons?
Yes. There are some very, very insane add-ons. Okay, just close that down for now. I want to show you the dynamic spacebar menu. Now, if you press the spacebar in the 3D view, you'll have a whole heap of options just right there at your fingertips. Because I first started using Blender at 1.7 when it first came out, probably about, I don't know, 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
And it used to be.
That's awesome, dude. That is freaking awesome.
Silent.
Yeah, so okay, the plus side of this, and this is a downside. If you have a little bit of experience with this is amazing. This is a hell of a good menu, it looks like. But it doesn't show you how Blender works. It doesn't show you how to use it, from native Blender.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't recommend it to start off. Maybe Dave might, but I think if you learn what all this stuff does first, and then you give that add-on, and then you just say, okay, I want to add the mesh, add a plane. But if you know how to do it from here first, it helps, I think.
Yeah.
Would
I
you
agree.
Would you agree, Dave?
Yeah, Opal agrees because that's the way. Even though I had to hop back and ask you to redo things, it's easier doing it that way.
I wouldn't leave that add-on because I do like. I mean, that's awesome because it's everything at your
Yeah,
fingertips.
that's very useful.
Thank you. Jeremy, you're going to have to delete your cache and delete your Windows. Delete your System 32. No, delete your cache and then close your browser and then restart. Try that because he's having a hard time getting in.
Oh, yeah, because you're not loaded here.
All right, so where do we want to go from this? So I'm going to do a quick render again to see kind of what it looks like, what we got so far. I can definitely make out the glass, and I can make out the table. I'm trying to think what else we can do to kind of make it a little more interesting.
Greg's silent. Oh, still stuck where he last was. Did he take off?
Who's that? What?
Greg. I'm taking a look at the screen because he's screen sharing and he's still stuck where he is. So. And
the reason I make the table like this, I'm going to show you guys a render that I did. Well, you guys saw the render in my last video, right? When I put the name Steve McRae and I changed it into something else. You saw the reflection off the table. Do you guys remember that from the last video I did? No, Opal? Yeah, maybe.
Trying to think. Don't think so.
I try not to think. It's bad for you. All right, let me go into.
My brain's slightly fried here, so I'm just watching at this point. So let things digest.
Let me go into my video things here.
But I was gonna try and one up you, and I was gonna try and make a full table.
By the way, look at this. Do you believe this guy? I mean, I don't believe this shit. This is go back to the home. Look at Flat Earth Debate. Flat Earth Debates run 24/7. They always have like between 60 some odd and 80 people watching at a time. It is the dumbest shit imaginable. Rumpus is in there. dude, really? It is
Really?
literally the most asinine, brain-dead, intellectually bankrupt crap that I've ever had to listen to in my life. And yet they have patrons galore. This guy probably pulls in a butt ton of money. I don't know, but 60
Oh.
to 80 people watching at the time, listening to people explain to other people why the Earth is not freaking flat.
Yeah,
I feel
it's-
bad. I feel
You're
bad that
watching
I'm
Blender
broke
right now.
because
Learning Blender, but no, they want to talk.
I want to support you at $10 a month.
Um,
If I could afford it, I'd support you at 100.
Oh God, if I had a $100 supporter, I mean, I do. I'm not going to like dox or give out my big donors, but I mean, I have had people donate pretty decent sums of money to help me out, and I can't even express how much it has meant to me because I mean, when I said that I was going to be in my car next month, I wasn't even exaggerating. Because if I do even get this job, it won't be for a while because the store's not open until October. So I've had nothing to get me by for the next like month or two. So this Patreon that I've started is not just for entertainment. It's actually helping me out tremendously. And when I get back on my feet, I will try to take care of everybody that has helped me out the best I can. But yeah, I mean, if someone
the best I can do is
$100
promote
a
you.
month, I mean, I'll come cuddle with them.
is
Whatever the hell they want. But most people have been doing about $10 a month, and then obviously even my $1 is just great because I mean it makes that Patreon number go up, and the more Patreons you have, that means that people more want to donate more. So I mean, $10 a month is about the average for a Patreon. I don't think people should really expect more than $10 a month from somebody. But I mean, there are people that do $100 a month. Some people even more for some of these flat earthers. Jeranism, Jesus, man, he makes probably $2,000 a month, I would guess, on this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's the whole point, and they create drama. It's drama, and it's people watching the train wreck that is that channel.
It's sad. It's so sad. I mean, they have. I mean, I understand. That this takes a lot of time and effort to run these channels and make videos, but I'm not going to sacrifice my own principles for just to make that kind of money. I mean, that's just absurd that you have to promote flat Earth to make that kind of money when I don't even know if he actually buys into it, and that's just dishonest. But
so I think he believes in absolute free speech, but it has gotten to the point where you've got internet trolls who've made violent threats against other members of that channel, including murder threats against Hank.
That's not free speech. Threats of violence is not free speech. I'm all for free speech.
There's a couple of those guys who are basically just thugs.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you want to promote flat Earth, I can't stop you, right? I mean, if you want.
Okay, so what is the purpose of this hangout?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious.
People were asking me how to do stuff in Blender. So
okay.
That's all. Because they were the sauce stuff I was working on.
Because I can add to this in that there's a number of free programs you can add to it, and your community is mostly people with a biology background. And there are, in fact, add-ons for Blender that allows you to make use of public protein databases.
Yep.
And then you can import the protein database, including animations, and then use that to visualize proteins and, in fact, visualize how they work in the cell. And I would think that would be of interest to a lot of your folks.
Yeah, that might be a little more. I'm just doing the basics right now, right?
Yeah, that would be really non-basic.
No, but I mean, I think that if people want to learn this stuff, I've got to give my Patreon something, right? I mean, they're not just giving me money because I'm good looking. I've got to give something to them that's informative and educational, and of course with the drama with the Clown Car Posse, because people do like that, some don't. I do. I'm not gonna lie, I love pointing out the shit that is wrong with what Ronnie says. I enjoy it. He is my lulzcal. I'm suckling at his teat of stupidity. G-Man thinks it's him. I don't know why. I barely talk about G-Man at all. Matter of fact, zero for the most part. He's nothing that I even deal with, and he thinks that if I don't talk about him, I'm not going to get subs or Patreons. And it's like, G-Man, I'll go the next month without even mentioning your name, and it won't make a bit of difference to my channel. So he's just way out there. True empiricism is my lulzcal. I mean, I admit that. I'm not going to deny it. I can't give up on that suckling of that teeth, right?
Yes.
I don't know what Boneser means by gumming a Big Mac. I don't even know what that means. I don't want to know what that means.
So Blender is pretty. It seems to me to be pretty powerful, and it's used actually quite a lot in the academic settings because it is so open. There have been a large number of well, you know, basically, if you're a professor in computer science, you're kind of shut out of the commercial applications. But this one being open, so that means you can assign your students a task and have them create specific add-ons for your specific ideas.
I mean, you can use Final Effects, which is similar. I mean, there's some similar programs. I just think that Blender's, because it's free, it's open source, it's so versatile, and then you could use it for a lot of different things. But anyways, yeah, Ponzer, I don't know what you mean by Gamma Big Map, but I do have PayPal. Okay, so anyways, this is the animation I made from my last video. It was based on a tutorial that I modified for myself. This gives you an idea what you can do in Blender. What it does is it actually just dissolves that, and it actually relines it, and then it produces a new word. Young Earth Creationist Nemesis. I got this from a friend. Not that particular thing, but that term Nemesis. Somebody had made an intro for my videos, and they just happened to use that, and I thought it was pretty cool. So I've been using it ever since. So I'm Young Earth Creationist Nemesis. But this is what you can do in Blender for animation. And then another one I'm working on to try to make some like explosion, like plasma stuff, was this one. Another thing you do in Blender. This one's a lot more complicated. But anyways, let's go back to my Blender thing. All right, so we're back in Blender. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying this, like I said, this is the kind of stuff I want to do more often. I like explaining stuff. I like training. Contrary to what people like Ronnie and the CCP think, I actually am not a complete moron. And I think that you guys could figure out Blender on your own and just play with it because my Patreons and my friends are smart. Ronnie could never figure this shit out, right? I mean, good luck.
You're not a complete moron?
Yeah, well, 99%. That's totally.
But are you sure? Because a moron wouldn't know that they're not a complete moron.
Now you're getting like existential on me. Do I know that I don't know what I don't know? No, my favorite thing of all time, I think, was Ronnie's latest gaffe. He says something along the lines of, just because I'm not educated doesn't mean I'm not an idiot. That's brilliant. Just because I'm not educated doesn't mean I'm not an idiot. That's true.
That is a true sentence, I think.
I was like, wow, okay. Yes, Ronnie, just because you're not educated does not mean you're not an idiot. So anyways, so now I've got a plant panel here. But see what's happening here? See how I got my light source right here? Do you guys notice that emission? That's going to present a problem because I don't want that in the final scene. So what I have to do is I have to like kind of find my plane again, the one that I use on mission. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it along the Y to kind of move it out of the scene a little bit. So
No, don't do that.
Oh, it's going to change my whole lighting thing, huh?
Yeah,
no,
it's going to.
It doesn't mess it up too bad.
Yep, but I'm going to show you a trick. Okay?
All right. He's showing me the shortcuts here, so hang on. I just want to see if it worked. See, Dave's the expert. He's showing me. I know how to do this stuff, but I don't know the sheets. So.
There is an option to hide that plane from the camera. So even if it's right smack in the middle of the scene, you cannot see it. Okay, so if you go to the object buttons.
Right, and just click it out of the render.
No. That'll just not render it at all. You want it to render the light, but you don't want to actually see it in the render. You just want to see the actual light itself. So if you click on the object buttons, it'll be the one that's a cube, I think. Just down and to the right from where you
Okay.
Okay. If you go down to there's something called settings or cycle settings or something like that.
Yes. Oh yes.
Okay. See ray visibility. Turn off camera.
Yes.
Now even if that's right in the middle of the scene.
Oh, you're right.
You won't see it through the camera.
Brilliant. Thank you. You're right. I have used that before. So what this does done is it basically will not render in front of the camera, but it'll still produce the light out of it. So I don't have to move it. Because I like the lighting right now. It's actually like perfect, I think. It looks really good. So instead of moving it out of the way of the camera, this just takes it out of the visibility. But I do want to kick up that glass a little bit. I don't think that transparency looks that good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my node editor, and I'm going to see if I can make it a little more glassy. So what I want to do is I want to increase this factor all the way up because I don't even have to have a mix shader. I'm not mixing anything in, but let's see if this made a difference here. Let's see if it made it more glassy. Oh, ooh, shit. Way too much. Okay, let's
You need to pull it right the way to the other side.
Oh, I want it 0.2. You're right. Okay, let's try it. Let's try that. I want it down that way, right? There we go.
I think you want it to be at 0, actually, because you're not actually mixing it with anything.
That's true. Well, yeah, but I mean, okay, you're right. You're right. Okay, so let me change this to 0. Okay, now
I mean,
I have my factor.
Ideally, you should just delete that mix shader altogether.
But I may want to add something into it. I'm leaving it in. So I don't want to add to the texture, but I mean, there might be something I want. Like, what if I add a noise filter to it? I might add some like cracks and flakes and shit to it. Right now it's like perfectly smooth. Now this is looking like a thing of glass, right? So when I'm scrolled out here, now I got the actual reflections. And there's different ways of getting rid of some of this other artifact stuff, but you're kind of getting the idea. But it looks like a glass, right? I mean, it's yes, Alsoy, this is how NASA does the CGI fakery. This is how I've been confusing reds all this time. I've actually been making stuff for NASA because they don't have a real picture of the Earth. So I have done one with Earth, but I didn't have it on this computer. There's a really good one that you could make a really good simulation of the Earth. Okay, so now I have a little glass there. And you can make metals. You can do all kinds of different stuff. But I think that's pretty good for this particular thing, for the basics. I don't know where else to go with it. I could show them particle simulators maybe and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, you could add like a wood texture to the tabletop or whatever it is.
All right. Well, I would have to go download a texture. I got a metal texture I could use though.
Yeah, just use whatever you want.
What he's saying is I want to add a texture to something. Okay. Okay, so I want to go to my plane, and let's say I wanted to like add a texture to it rather than just like a glossy. I want to actually make it into like a wood table. I can actually go to my materials. I've got to remember how to do this myself. Is it textures or?
You're probably better off doing it in the actual node editor itself.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. This is going to be a little confusing then. I'm going to go to my node editor to do this, and I'm going to get rid of these.
So.
I'm gonna. Okay. Let me see if I can figure this out real quick, Dave, by myself.
Whoa.
What?
All you needed to do, you didn't need to do any of that, is add.
Hang on. Don't tell me. Well. Okay, hang on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have this what it's for, but what I need to do is I need to add a
texture?
Image texture.
Image texture, yeah.
And I want to add this is going to get complicated, but I want to add a texture coordinate. And I want it to be generated to my vector. And I want to put whatever picture I have here. Let me see what kind of picture I can find. This is my lava texture. Okay, this is a bare metal, so let me try to open that image. And I would have that going to my color. Is that right, or my normal?
That's right.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm trying to refresh my memory. How do I want the backdrop here to show me what I've got. How do I do that? I don't remember.
You can't. You can only do that in the compositor.
Oh, in the compositor, you're right. Shit. Yeah. Compositor is going to be the whole thing, though, and I'm not. What the compositor is going to do, if I go to here, guys, to compositing, okay, this is kind of like my node editor. I hit use nodes. This allows me to change the whole scene, right? And I don't want to do that. I'm actually sticking just with that plane. But from here, I can actually use this, and it'll show me the image in the background as I'm doing it, but that's not what I want. So node editor.
Yeah, so you want to see the texture as you're working on it, right? So you've got Node Wrangler enabled, I take it.
Yeah, but I forget the keystroke for it. I haven't used it in a while.
Yeah. Do you ever use border rendering?
Border rendering?
So, yeah, you see the right. Okay, can you go back to the previous view where you can actually see through the camera? Or or just open up a 3D view. Look through the camera. Okay. The only thing you want to look at now is the actual table itself and not the glass. So I think it's Shift B, and just select like a little portion of the actual table itself without the glass. Oh right. Okay. Try Control B. Sorry about that. You need to zoom out. So the thing is, right? You use Blender for so long, it just becomes like muscle memory. You don't actually know what buttons you're pressing. You just do it.
Well, that's yeah, exactly. So Control.
Yeah. So it's either Control B. You can actually just render a tiny little portion of what you see. Yeah. So if you change the view mode to rendered now, it should only render that little segment. No, not F12. If you actually change the view in the 3D view itself, because you know you're in shaded now. Down at the bottom, you see where it says Object Mode to the right. Okay, change it to rendered. You see how it's only rendering that tiny little bit that you've selected.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of a cool trick. I don't know if I'm going to use that though.
Yeah. Okay. So if you go back to the render buttons. Okay, to your right. You know where all the render settings are?
Up
in
here?
the properties window. Yep. There's a button called border. You need to uncheck that.
Okay.
There. And that'll just get rid of it.
Okay. Now that's kind of a cool trick though. That's good. Kind of.
Yeah. Once you start using creating complex scenes, you will be using that all the time.
Yeah, I can see how that comes in handy. I'm actually in render mode right now, guys. So see how it's down here. I got rendered.
Oh, Steve. Okay, here's another trick. Just hit the border button. Go back into rendered view. Okay, now go back to rendered view. No, at the bottom. Yep. Oh shit. Christ. Forget that. Uncheck it. Just ignore everything I just said.
It just gives you a little render window. That's all.
Yeah. So I'm not seeing the actual metal texture.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't figured it out yet. So hang on. What I can do is this. I'm going to go to Node Editor. I'm actually going to change this window to my 3D view, and then I'm going to go to Render here, and this is what it's going to show me as I'm doing it, and then I'll go to my camera. Okay. So now I actually have another window where as I'm changing this, it'll show it at here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get rid of this glossy. I'm going to put this straight to my surface and see if that makes a difference. No. Let's see.
No,
here.
you don't want to do that.
Flat. I definitely want flat. I want linear.
If you want it to show up in both, you just need to connect the image texture to both the glossy and the diffuse.
Image texture to.
Yeah, and now do the same thing to the other one at the top.
And
now you need to connect the mix shader back into.
There we go. There we go. Perfect. So what I had to do is on my image texture, what I did is I have to actually put it to both inputs here, and then what it does is it generates this metal thing. But obviously I want it to be a little bit different. So let me see if I can change this around a little bit. Extended. That makes it a little bit better.
What you need to do is, hang on, let me just check.
Let me try generated. There we go. There we go. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just actually render this. So what this did is this is a metal texture that it's giving my table. And there's different ways of doing this. You can actually map it to the table. So if you had to resize the table and map with that, and that's called UV unwrapping. That's going to be a little more complicated. I'm not going to get into that right now. But this is a really quick, dirty way to actually change the tabletop to a specific texture. If this was a wood texture, like, you know what? What the hell? Let's try it out. Let me see. I'm going to wood texture Blender. Let's see if I can find one real quick. Since we're having fun, right?
Steve, just to update you, your project here has generated an additional Patreon.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, guys. I haven't checked anything, so. If anybody's added me to for Patreon, I haven't checked yet. I will get back to it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Don't
be worse than a cheap ass.
I'm not checking in my messages only because I'm broadcasting right now, and that's.
I know. I just thought I'd let you know. I didn't think you could cheap it, but right now.
So I'm going to. What am I doing now? Okay, so I'm going to change this texture. I'm going to go back to my node editor, and I'm going to change this into the one that I just downloaded. And I'm going to find the wood texture. So now, oh, look at that. Oh, that came out really well. So now I added a texture to it, and when I render it now with F12, I'm going to go into my 3D view, and I'm going to hit F12, and this is going to show me through the camera. I've got a wooden table now with a glass on it. Is that cool, guys, or what?
Yeah, that is really cool.
Now this is more looking realistic, right?
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of views from me because I'll probably watch this over and over again.
That's really looking like a good glass. And I got this rendered at 200 samples, so it doesn't have to be exceptionally high. Let's see how this looks. I'm going to wait for it to render. Again, my computer's up. I got a voice minute.
If I can work around my brain, what I'd like to do is I'd like to make starships. I've always wanted to make starships. That's what I originally.
Oh, by the way, there's actually an add-on that you can actually make starships by just clicking a single button. Honest God, hold on. Let me just try and share my screen. I'll try and show you.
Hang on, real quick. I gotta announce you guys real quick. By the way, thank you, new patrons. I just got a voicemail from my literally like 5 minutes ago. They want me to come in for a third interview, and they want me to come in today. So I'm going to have to end this pretty soon. 5 minutes. I'm going to call them back, and then
you do it.
And somebody had told me if they call you in for a third interview, that's actually when they do the hiring, the negotiation. We had somebody yesterday. They're like, yeah, the third step is basically they call you in for the third interview, but that's basically just going over how much pay and stuff like that. So I might actually have landed this job. So I'm going to finish this up in 5 minutes, 1 o'clock my time. I'm sorry, but obviously this is critical, and it's awesome. I'm thrilled to death if I do get this spot. It's not a high pay. But if it's still when you have zero income, and I got to go back to work.
A job's a job.
But anyways, I do have some new Patreons. Thank you guys immensely. David, you know who you are. Not to give out your last name. And John, thank you. You guys are amazing. So I am going to end this in a few minutes. 1 sec. Let me get in here. So anyways, this is going to be, like I said, this is going to be how it's going to render. There are ways of getting some of these artifacts out of here, these fireflies, by clamping it. Maybe I'll go over that next time. See the base here? See that artifacts? See how it came through here? There's ways to limit that as well. We knew that was going to happen with the 3D. But this is what my final render would look like as far as my photorealism. I have my table, I have a glass on it, and you can make a bowl, you can make a napkin. I did a cloth simulator once where you can drop a cloth like over the bowl and it drapes down using some of these what's called soft body. You have soft body and you have cloth. So you can make a towel, you make napkins. I made a really cool napkin. Just real quick, to show you what you can do. If you want something like to explode, you can do something real quick just so I can explode this before I end it. You can add force holes too, like by wind and vortex. But let me see if I can do a quick explode with force. Oh, I need to be in. Okay, so I'm gonna go quick effects. Actually, I gotta click this first. So I want this to explode. Quick effects, and I'm gonna say quick explode. And then on my table, I'm going to add collision, so it can actually fall off the table. and then I'm going to animate this. And let's see what happens. So instead of doing a render, I'm going to go to animation. This is where I need my timeline. I'm only going to put this at, we'll put this 50, and then we're going to animate it at samples, just, I don't know, 5, something really low because it doesn't take forever. And let's see if it actually shatters that. Oh, yeah, there you go. Quick effects. So this is how I would shatter something, and it would break apart on the table and bounce around.
Oh, wow, cool.
Quick effects is pretty cool. I mean, you normally would have to go in and do this all manually, but quick effects does it for you. So let me render this real quick, and kind of curious. I've never really done this with this glass before, so I have no idea if it works.
The setting up is quick. The rendering is slower.
Yeah, well, I'm only rendering at 5 samples, dude. If I was at like normally what I would do, at least 100, 200 or more for a high resolution. But I'm rendering at 5 just so I wanted to do a quick animation. I'm going to show you how to play this back. And you can change how much this skips on the table. You can change the gravity metrics. You can change the vectors to see if it has a, like more of a drag effect. So if I want particles going evenly across the table, I want random size shadow. You can change all these parameters. But I'm just doing a real quick explosion and see if it actually starts moving across the table. I'm gonna let it go to 20 frames and then I'll stop it because I got to call them back.
Yeah, no, you gotta take care of that.
Yeah, but they only called me 5 minutes ago, so
Running today.
I literally checked my message. It's 12:59 my time. They called me at 12:52, I think it was. All right. So, anyways, I'm gonna stop this. If you need to stop, you just hit this little stop this job, and then when you go to Window, or excuse me, Render, you can say Play Rendered Animation or Control 11. So what this does, it will actually bring it up to you. There you go. Now it's playing my other render too because it's carrying over. But see how it's shattering it now? Pretty cool, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, anyways, guys, that's my little presentation for basics of Blender. We can do more another time. If you guys enjoyed it, then I'm thrilled. I'm going to be doing more presentations and trainings of things that whatever I can. And then if somebody else wants to do some training, they can do it on my channel. Dave will probably do a presentation when he gets a better mic. Maybe he wants to show us how to do like a fluid simulator or a particle simulator would be cool. I mean, did you guys see the bear that I made?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so that was a bear. The bear I made, some of you may have seen, that actually was using a hair system. In fact, do I even have that? What did I do with my bear?
Steve, after this is over, I'm going to send you something, okay? And I shouldn't be sending it to you because this is technically something you're meant to pay for, but it will make your modeling workflow a lot quicker.
That'd be sweet. Yeah, if you can send me some Blender files, that'd be awesome too. Like anything you've worked in Blender and some files you may like think that'd be kind of cool for me to learn.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's my bear though. I don't even know where the hell I saved it at.
Well, talking about the picture or the actual Blender file?
I made. I mean, I didn't make. I mean, I did, but I mean, I was totally a tutorial. If you go to, I'll show you the tutorial for it, and I did a pretty good job emulating it. But it's a Blender. I'll share this in a second. Blender tutorial. There. This just give you an idea what you can do, and you can do full cities in this thing. It's awesome. Let me present. Then I get going. Shoot. Okay, am I presenting?
Yes.
Can you guys see this? Okay. So this bear right here, I did this tutorial, and I made the bear look almost pretty much exactly like this. See all the fur that comes out of it? This is a hair particle system. And so what you basically do is you create the. Yeah, actually, we'll go back. What you actually do is you create a sphere, right? These are all spheres. You elongate them, and then you basically kind of make your detail. And then you put a particle system on it that produces all these hairs, and you just cut them short, and it gives it that fluffy quality to it. So this is how you would make like a teddy bear. Pretty badass, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, anyways, I am calling this to a close, guys. Thank you for watching. Again, thank you for your Patreon, your everything you've done to support me. I am going to call these people back, and hopefully I might have a job when I get back. Again, the store doesn't open until October, but just knowing that I have a third interview, pretty confident that I landed something. So we'll see what happens. Okay, guys?
Yeah, good luck.
My fingers are
Right,
crossed for
see
you.
ya.
Good luck. Goodbye.